And before we get in the program, Holly, it's time for this week's Joke of the Week.
Okay, so how did the watermelon farmer feel after winning the lottery?
Like $1 million, like 1 million watermelon seeds.
Like $1 million.
Oh, like $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, this week's Joke of the Week is brought to you by Rescue.com. American-made rescue products keep your family, home, and yard protected from pests like insects, wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, flies, ants, and more. Learn more at Rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com.
Well, we are getting close to getting through season 9 of our radio program here. We missed a big milestone 4 weeks ago, Holly. Do you know what that was?
Was it 100 show? No.
300th show.
Holy cow.
Yeah, 300th show. I thought it was a couple of weeks from now, but we have exceeded over the 300 original programs hours of terrestrial radio.
That's a lot.
Yep. Yeah. Let's get in the program here. Let's turning your bad soil into good soil. Now, before we get started here, there's some things in which we need to be aware of. If your soil has a toxic, first of all, you don't know what your soil has or needs unless you get a soil test from soilsavvy.com, where you you purchase the sampling tools, send it to their lab, and they will email you 16 points of analyzation to determine what you need to add or not add, or what your soil has or doesn't have. Now, if your soil has a level of toxicity, or you have toxified your soil through a means of chemicals or bad killer compost, remitigation is a whole nother step. This is not part of this conversation. We're talking about the soil just is not doing what it's supposed to do, and it's pretty decent soil.
The soil isn't soiling. Okay, so you want to add organic matter, and this can be a number of things. This could be compost that you purchase, compost that you make, compost that you manure. So manure that is properly aged, and also that you know where it comes from. Manure adds nutrients and organic matter, just like compost does. And then you can also add shredded leaves, grass clippings, but you want to make sure they're weed. What do you always say?
Weed-free and seed-free, and chemical-free. Now, your compost, again, you want to make sure you know the source, and not all manures can be added directly to the garden or your right away. You need to let it age and or add it to your compost bin in order for that aging process to occur.
Right. So all three of those are good options, and they help add the nutrients, they add the organic matter, and they will feed your soil naturally, I guess. Yeah. I was going to say something else about that, but when it comes back to me, I'll say it. So anyway, so the other thing is that they are something that you don't have to, if you do it properly, like your own compost or the leaves, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Not that manure is expensive if you have the right resource, but it could, if you do need to purchase it, that is something.
Improve your drainage. Clay soil, adding sand or fine gravel, you kind of base, this is, your mileage may vary. Clay soil has a lot of nutrient value into it. The best means to break that clay soil up in order to get it to get that nutrients and the minerals out of it is incorporate compost into that soil. Whether you are making that compost or you're purchasing it in bulk, adding that compost to the clay, you can mix it in, or you can do the natural way of every year. If you have an area that is extremely clay, every year add 2 to 4 inches of compost on top of that area, and naturally over the course of the year allow the rain and earthworms and everything to naturally, microbes, to bring that down into that clay soil. And 3 to 5 years you're going to have that clay soil broken up enough, and it's going to be a very viable area in which you can plant. If you get a soil test and you see that you have a pH issue, pH is the alkaline to or acidity to alkaline range.
So pH test soil test can determine this.
You're supposed to have 7 is a neutral. There's some plants that like a 5.3 on strawberries, some like a 7.5 or 8. But if you have a 7, you're good shape. Now blueberries are like a 4, so keep in mind. But your average vegetable garden, 7 is good.
Blueberries are definitely their own ball game. Another one is to avoid compact.
Well, first, how do we change that? You want to amend?
You could add something like sulfur or lime. Those can be used
based on which way you need the numbers to go.
Yeah. And there's other options. You can definitely do your own research. If you have a question, you can.
But this is not I added it today, I can plant next week, because
a lot of this stuff takes time.
This is a couple of year process. Yes.
Soil, etc. So another one is to avoid compacted soil. This is one you could aerate your soil by tilling, digging, or adding more organic matter. That will help improve the drainage and aeration. Another one is just don't walk on your soil.
Permanent walk paths.
Walk path.
Designated grow areas or raised beds where you're not going to walk in that area. That as long as the raised beds are no wider than 4 foot that you can reach across. If you do have, coming up on fall, we're going to have a lot of free resources, being leaves. Just take the leaves and pile on top of your grow beds as you are harvesting them. And over the course of winter and next spring, time for planting, you can move that leaves back, plant, and leave the leaves as they decay and break down and feed the soil. By June of next year, if you have 3 foot of leaves over your bed now and you can kind of move them around and plant your transplants in the spring, by June you won't know that you put any leaves in your garden.
So one thing I want to talk about is, as we go through this process here, if you know that you have clay soil or you have sandy soil or you have high pH, low pH, whatever it may be, and it's something where you don't want to spend a lot of time amending your soil, feeding it, changing the pH, etc., another great option is some sort of raised bed, container, straw bale garden, any of those.
Is the investment for the raised bed or the containers is it dramatically less than the time effort going into trying to redevelop the soil, which is not that good of shape right now? Bring in 5 yards of compost, build raised beds, figure that math out.
And a lot of it comes down to time.
Right.
You may not have the patience or whatever to do all this, or the physical labor. If you have to incorporate things like compost, manure, etc.,
mixing it in and getting
it could be very treacherous. Something like shoveling. A lot of these raised beds now are pre-made, or shoveling the compost in may be less work than having to do all the extra stuff. Yeah,
even if the extra stuff doesn't cost a lot. Let's say the extra stuff between the all the materials and getting your soil and all that is $500, and it costs $1,200 or $1,500 to make raised beds. But the time making raised beds is 2 weekends, and you're done. You get your your friends, your family, your grandkids. Boom, it's done, and you don't have to mess with any of the other stuff. Sometimes it is okay to pay more to have something done in a quicker amount of time, because time at 40 or 60 years old is not the same as time as at 15 and 28 years old.
Right. It's a different type of time, I guess you could say.
Yes. Got time for one more.
We got time for one more.
Let's go mulch.
Oh, mulch. That's right, mulch. So mulching, you can use, I wouldn't recommend wood chips for a vegetable bed, but you can use straw, you can use leaves, you can use
shredded
paper. All of these things will help.
Grass clippings, chemical-free, seed-free, dry grass clippings. Bring them in off your yard, let them dry so you're not creating a mildew issue. Now, once they get wet in the bed, that's different, but you don't want to bring that mucky, wet grass clippings and put around your plants.
So mulch will not only break down and help feed your soil, it'll also help retain moisture. It will help maintain temperature, kind of. Yeah. And then also it'll help suppress weeds.
Not guaranteed. It won't eliminate weeds. It will slow the weeds down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you don't need to do is, as we're getting into the hunting season, and you can always use spices and seasonings, WaltonInc.com has you covered.
Yeah, we were brought to you today by our sponsor, Walton's Inc. They have everything you need to make any type of meat product. You can find specials and sales online only. They have a decade of experience in the meat processing industry, and they are trying to bring information as best as possible to the home processor. They have seasoning, equipment, supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. They have meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. Walton's even has a full line of meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers, and more to help you go from animal to edible. Walton's everything but the meat. Use code GROW50, that's GROW50, to save 10% off your orders of $50 or more.